Hello all of you. Here we begin with the 5th class for companies assessment. We have completed everything for MAT, and in the last class we have checked special incomes of the domestic company, manufacturing companies, those who are going for section 115 BAA, BAB, and they are paying 20 to 25% tax along with mandatory surcharge, special income, special rate, but they need to comply with certain conditions. They cannot avail few deductions in business head, ATC to ATU deductions. You remember? One comparative chart we have done in the last class, that these are the companies which can go for 15%, 22%, and 25% subsidized rate of tax. Okay, right. Some more sections are there in 115 series, BBF and 115 QA, QB, QC, which are very simple. We'll be doing later. Right now, I'm starting with one of the very important topic of this company assessment, and that is business trust. Business trust, investment trust, and your securitization trust. So there are cases wherein directly, instead of earning income and sharing it with the investors, they do it through a mediator, and that mediator is called as trust, right? So they form the companies, they surrender their shares and they buy the units of the business trust, and then business trust is generating income and distributing to the unit holders. So there's whole logic and cycle of how the incomes are taxed. Now pay attention and listen to me. Patiently take down the booster notes and flowcharts what I am giving you. Because this topic is very simple but new for all of you, first we will do it through the booster notes, what I am dictating and explaining. Second, we'll read out from our printed material which is there for company assessment. I am on, I'll tell you 1 minute just. Mat jo ho gaya na, we have done with all the 115 BA, and all the series we have done. So right now, securitization trust chota hai, I'll do the bigger part first. I'm on page number 66. Those who are having material, tax on the income of the business trust and the unit holders. It's a very simple topic when asked in exam. But for that, first, like, how you do capital gain. Okay, transfer ki date se lena, indexation yahan tak. So capital gain problems are easy, but your basket is wide enough to remember everything. What is year of acquisition? What is the year of transfer? Like that, today's class, aram se padho, and when we solve the problems, they are like so easy. What is going to be the income which is taxable in the hands of unit holders, and what is going to be the income which is taxable in the hands of the trust? Okay, so this is a part of your company assessment only. So along with Matt, we are discussing it here. Okay, the topic is this one. 1 second. Yeah, till I'm scrolling up two important instructions. Anyone has not filled up the Google form, I have again sent it in the group. Make sure you fill it up. Second thing is that those who have joined late, coming week, if there are no classes, make sure you cover up all the backlog of your classes and make yourself super duper strong in the inter subjects. You cannot say, ma'am, set of carry forward loss to main inter mein ki thi, abhi yaad nahi hai, which losses are to be carried forward for 4 years and 8 years. You should know that, dear students. And for you all, I am very confident that if you listen to the lecture the way I have given step by step in depth, and with your, definitely that's why you are in final. When you have cleared your inter, you have that knowledge, you'll surely be able to reconnect. We are on page number 66 and we are talking about tax treatment in the hands of the business trust. Okay, so what all income is going to be taxable in the hands of the business trust, what all income is going to be taxable in the hands of unit holders, and related to that, TDS and other provisions are also there. And this one problem, I'll tell you, for 7 marks, like when this is asked, no, dear students, it is so scoring. This problem, it's like just handpick the problem may say calculations and you can complete it. 7 to 8 marks question this is, because it looks small, but you need to comment and write about it. Okay, right? Any doubt you have, you can unmute and ask me. Put it in the chat box and I'll check it. Open your notebooks, and I don't know, I've told you last time that we are maintaining a separate booster notebook, or either in your running notebook. Like this is the um, booster notes here. Last, I think we have written for add and less for index compliance. And we have written the add and less also. So here only I am making a conceptual chart for this business trust. Okay. So I'm writing here, refer page 66 of your book. And then income. Income of business trust. Okay, SPV. What is SPV? Special purpose vehicle entity. Where they put the money. Yes. And the unit holders. And the unit holders. Okay, right. This is all covered in section 115 UA. 115 UA. Sorry. Chalo. So now listen, all of you. The first thing we should do is we should know what are the terms what I am writing in screen. Okay. So now what has happened when we are talking about companies? Companies directly what they earn the income, that is fine. But so many times we have investors. You all know who are going to be the investors? We call them unit holders. So these investors or unit holders, they put the money in the funding, like they do infrastructure funding or other kind of funding. So they do funding in the form of investment fund. Investment fund, they put the money. Investors, they put the money in the investment fund, infrastructure fund, some kind of the business trust, you call them. Okay. And these business trust, they put the money in special purpose vehicle. Write down all the terms. Special purpose vehicle. It will take 15 minutes for us to make and understand the chart, but then the problem solving will become super duper easy. So who are the investors? Public, who are having the money. We also call them the unit holders. These unit holders, they put money in the investment. So they form a trust. One day I have explained you how the mutual fund works. So they give money to trust. Trust will have trustees, trust will have analysts who will decide where to put the money, how much will go in the equity market, how much will go in the debt market. And these business trust, they have work in two ways. Okay. Real estate investment trust. Real estate investment trust, who put the money in real estate for the purpose of getting the rental income and the capital gain. Are you following and making also, or you want me to explain and then pause and you will copy? Whatever is comfortable, I'm okay. Investors are putting the money in trust. Trust works in two ways. One is REIT, that is the real estate investment trust. And when you put the money in real estate, either you get rental income, or when you sell the property, you get capital gain. Or they put the money in infrastructure trust. Infrastructure trust is the companies, like in Hyderabad, we have GMR. GMR is funding all the development of International Shamshabad Airport. Then there are other companies who are developing, you can say, malls and multiplexes and flyovers and outer ring roads, and so many upcoming infrastructure means the development. Nowadays we don't drive from one city to another through national highways. Outer ring road is like pura city bypass करके side से आप निकल जाओगे. So these 4-lane roads are being developed, flyovers, underground work, and lot of infrastructure development is done by infrastructure fund. Now these, they collect the money and then they put the money in the, they form this SPV, infrastructure fund. They are holding more than 51% shares of SPV are held by business trust. Are you clear? Business trust will form SPV and buy SPVs all more than 51% shares, and against that they will give their companies units. And special purpose vehicle is those companies which are formed by business trust and they will invest. I hope you are getting. The one that does actual work, they get funding from the infrastructure funding company. And infrastructure funding company get the money from the investors. Until now, have you taken down and is it clear? Ask me any doubts if you have in any of the term. Then who will generate what income, that we will check. Yes. Investors or unit holders will put in business trust. Business trust will put in SPV. SPV is like an, you can say, company. It is like a company in which more than 51% shares of the SPV are purchased. And SPV will hold units in the business trust. Simple. Real estate investment, they need not put all the money in SPV. They can have their own income also. Okay? Chalo. Now what they are asking in the exam is, who will pay tax on what income? So first of all, let us start taxability of unit holders. Taxability of unit holders. Okay? Actually, when they put the money, they come reverse, but it is the way they work. Taxability of the unit holders. Number 1 point you write down. SPV will give dividend and interest. SPV will give dividend and interest to trust. Exempt for trust. Exempt for trust. अंडर सेक्शन याद रहे तो ठीक है, बट है आपके सिलेबस में तो लिख लो. 1023 FC. Are you all getting? See, we are investing like this. Unit holders in trust, trust in SPV. So now SPV will give dividend and interest to trust, which is exempt for trust. Trust will pass through. Trust will pass through same income in same proportion to unit holders. Are you all getting what I am saying? Trust क्या करेगा? Dividend मिला ना, जितने भी unit holders है, according to their ratio, they will give the dividend. Whoever are the other interest income जिनको देना है according to the share of the unit holders, in their hands they will pass on. So trust is just like a mediator. They are getting the income from SPV, interest and dividend, and they are giving it to the holders. In the hand of the holders, will it be taxable? Yes. Dividend is taxable in the hands of unit holders. Are you all getting? SPV is giving dividend to trust, exempt in the hands of trust. Trust is giving the same dividend to unit holders. Is it taxable in the hands of unit holders? Yes. Now, let us see. If SPV is paying normal tax, are you able to listen and write with me? Some of you can put the message in the chat box, because my writing may not be clear to copy later. तो आप लोग सुन के साथ में लिख रहे हैं divide. SPV is paying normal tax and then dividend it is giving to trust. तो dividend के हाथ trust के हाथ में तो taxable है, exempt है. So SPV is paying the normal tax. Then again I'm writing here dividend exempt for trust. अब ट्रस्ट ने पास किया यूनिट होल्डर्स को, तो डिविडेंड exempt for unit holders. I hope you are getting. Trust is SPV is paying normal tax 30% and whatever Indian company should pay the tax. So whatever dividend they pass to trust is exempt. Same dividend trust is passing to the unit holders. It is exempt under section 1023 FD. That was 1023 FC for trust. 1023 FC for trust and 1023 FD for dividend. Are you all getting what I'm saying? And is this clear to all of you? Sure. Now, dividend is taxable in the hands of the unit holders. So if depends, is SPV paying the full tax? Any income is taxable once only and these incomes are passed through as it is. So the unit holders and the trust will not pay any tax. If SPV is paying tax, SPV is paying tax under section 115 BAA. That is at the rate of 22%. Domestic company is paying the tax at the rate of 22%. Then also dividend is exempt for trust. जो dividend SPV ने trust को दिया exempt for trust under section 1023 FC. Now this dividend is taxable for unit holders. अब ये डिविडेंड बिल्कुल टैक्सेबल होगा यूनिट होल्डर्स के लिए. ओके non-resident and foreign company, it is taxable at 10% and for others it is taxable at normal rate. जो भी है unit holders, non-resident foreign company है तो they have to pay the tax at 10% and for others it is normal rate. So then in that case TDS deducted. अब अगर टैक्सेबल है तो TDS तो डिडक्ट करना पड़ेगा. किसको डिडक्ट करना पड़ेगा? ट्रस्ट को. ट्रस्ट के हाथ में एग्जेम्प्ट है बट ट्रस्ट इज गिविंग टू यूनिट होल्डर्स इन टैक्सेबल. TDS deducted by trust while giving to the income to the unit holders under section 194 LBA. 194 LBA and these all 194 LB series, we'll again do it in the non-resident chapter also at the rate of 10%. See, SPV, Special Purpose Vehicle Company, is getting dividend income on the shares. That dividend income is passed on to the trust. In the hands of the trust, it is exempt. Trust is passing its same to unit holders. If SPV has paid full tax, unit holders exempt. If SPV has paid subsidized rate, unit holders will pay tax. If they are non-resident and foreign company, 10%. Others, normal rate. So TDS भी deduct करना पड़ेगा. क्या rate से करना पड़ेगा? 10%. Done? Yes. Please ask. No. If it is like non-resident and foreign company, 10% tax or 10% TDS deduct ho gaya na, to done. Over and out. There are many incomes of the foreign company which are taxable at 5-10%, and that much TDS is deducted. Again, it is not taxed. But in case of others like resident, individual and all, suppose they come in 30%, they have to pay the tax 30% and 10% is the TDS deducted. Like that it is done. I hope your doubt is clear. If not, ask me again, no problem. Now we will come to interest. You know, these SPV, they put the money, like they have shares and all, they put the money, so they get dividend income, and they also put in the debentures and all. So they will definitely have interest income also. Now, interest income. इंटरेस्ट इनकम, सबसे पहले इंटरेस्ट इनकम कहां से आएगा? एसपीवी is giving the interest income to business trust. SPV is giving the interest income to business trust. It is exempt. For whom it is exempt? For business trust. For business trust it is exempt under section 1023 FC. ये डिविडेंड और ये ट्रस्ट के हाथ में एग्जेम्प्ट है, सेम. Now write down same. Trust will pass on income, interest income to unit holders. Will it be taxable in the hands of unit holders? Answer is yes. Taxable for unit holders. बिल्कुल taxable है. Interest income for unit holders. Non-resident है या foreign company है, so it is taxable at 5%. For others, it is taxable at normal rate. And for this, TDS will be deducted. TDS will be deducted. ये वाला. Switch on this one. This. TDS will be deducted. क्या रेट से डिडक्ट करोगे? Dear students, dividend income is taxable in the hands of the non-residents. Okay, deduction will be taxable in the hand. Dividend will be taxable in the hands of the non-resident at the rate of 10%. Okay. So TDS also at 10%. Interest is taxable in the hands of the non-resident and all at 5%. So TDS भी क्या रेट से डिडक्ट होगा? 5%. And for others, TDS is deducted at the rate of 10% under section 194 LBA. All same. Take your time and check the taxability part for dividend and interest. I'll tell you the gist also once you finish writing. It's very simple. थोड़ा patiently पढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन it will be helpful to solve problem. Right. When you apply this and when you solve the problem, no, it will be very easy. No need to pay extra tax. See, dividend is taxable in the hands of the non-resident at 10% and 10% TDS is deducted. No need to pay any other tax. Same way, interest is taxable for the non-residents at 5% and 5% TDS is deducted. So no need to pay any extra tax. In short, can I say SPV is giving dividend and interest income to trust, exempt for trust. Again, the trust is passing on to the unit holders, taxable for unit holders. Dividend at the rate of 10%. So TDS also 10%. Interest at the rate of 5%. For non-residents, so 5%. And for others, it is 10%. TDS का rate क्या लाया आप सबको? Here it is 10%. And here it is 5 and 10%. Okay. So these are the incomes which are taxable in the hands of the unit holders. Okay. I think we should take a pause here and now let us read it on the screen, and it is very easy, the problems and this. Tax on income of unit holders and business trust under section 115U. Business trust means either infrastructure investment trust, okay, under the SEBI guidelines. They'll form either the infrastructure trust or the real estate investment trust. All clear? Now, following income are exempt. Income of the business trust under section 1023 FC will be exempt. Interest received, please cancel this section, is not there now. 115 BO. Normally, it's just the dividend received or receivable. Dividend from SPV karo. So trust is getting dividend and interest from SPV. It is exempt in the hands of the trust. SPV is not required to deduct TDS on interest paid to the business trust. However, business trust is required to deduct the TDS. Are you getting? 10%, 5% in case of non-resident foreign company on the interest component. So, ये देखो, मैं diagram बना रही हूँ. SPV is giving interest and dividend to the trust, exempt. Same is passed on to unit holders, taxable. And unit holders will deduct the TDS. One case SPV giving dividend and this people giving same dividend to unit holders will be exempt if SPV is paying the normal tax. Now is it clear? Chalo. So this is one kind of the trust which is allowed by SEBI. Companies can form these trusts and they can put the money in SPV. SPV is also owned by the trust only. Now, second type of income is REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. Any income of business trust being real estate trust by way of renting, leasing of any outlet owned directly, business trust का खुद का rental income होगा. When rent is credited or paid to business trust being real estate investment trust referred under 1023 FCA owned directly by business trust, TDS 194I will not come. Business trust is required to deduct TDS at the rate of 10%. And for foreign company and all, this is a routine income. Interest and dividend income are taxable at that subsidized rate 10 and 5. Otherwise, foreign company will pay the tax at 30 and 40%. Okay, on distribution of such rental income to the unit holders. And now other income of the trust. ये देखो, अभी हम देख रहे थे unit holders के हाथ में क्या क्या taxable होगा. Distributed income to unit holders. Any distributed income referred to 100 received by unit holders from business trust, excluding the portion of income which is in the nature of 1023 FCA, is exempt. So what comes in 10? That is dividend and interest. What taxable होगा? You can write here. Unit holders के हाथ में क्या क्या taxable होगा? dividend and interest. Any income distributed by trust to unit holder shall be deemed to be of the same nature, same proportion in the hands of unit holder as it has received or accrued to business trust. SPV has given to business trust 80% dividend, 20% interest. Business trust, whatever income they distribute to the unit holders, 80% dividend, 20% interest. Same proportion, same nature. If in any previous year distributed income received by unit holders from business trust is in the nature referred to this, then such distributed income shall be deemed to be income of unit holders and it will be chargeable to tax. This is nothing but dividend and interest. Unit holder being non-corporate, non-resident foreign company is liable to tax at 5% on the interest. See, we have promised them, if you give us loan NRIs, we will just deduct 5% TDS and tax 5% to 5%. Dividend पे 10% to 10%. Other than this, if NRIs are getting income, they have to pay full tax, rental income and all. Are you getting? So this was all about unit holders. Let us see now. 1 second. Oh, sorry. 1 minute. Take your time. Is this clear to all of you what I have made you write? Ye dekho. SPV is giving dividend and interest to the trust, and trust is just passing through the same dividend and interest to unit holders. Now dividend. If SPV is paying full tax, dividend is exempt in the hands of the trust and the unit holders. If SPV is paying 22% tax, dividend is exempt for the trust, but trust will tax it in the hands of unit holders, and so trust will deduct TDS also at the rate of 10%. Now, interest income given by SPV to trust, exempt. Trust is giving the interest income to the unit holders. It is taxable for non-residents and all 5%, only interest income. So TDS also 5%. For others, interest received is taxable normal, slab rate 10, 15, 20, jahan jo fit ho raha hai. So TDS will be deducted at 10%. Clear? That's all. All the other income in the hands of the unit holders is exempt. Okay? All the other income in the hands of the unit holders is exempt. Shall we write it as point number 4? Other than dividend and interest, other than dividend interest and RIT income, all other income exempt in hands of unit holders. Are you all with me and very clear? Dekho. Dividend income, unit holders, you pay tax. Interest income, you pay tax. RIT ka thoda income hai, abhi I'll tell you pay tax. Other than this income, everything is exempt in the hands of unit holders, and here I completed taxability of unit holders. Now I'm going to taxability of trust. Taxability of business trust. Taxability of business trust. Point number 1. Write down. Dividend and interest received from SPV. Dividend and interest received from SPV exempt under section 1023 FC. 1023 FC. Now, rental income received from RIT, Real Estate Investment Trust की अपनी income है. They make multiplexes and flyover and bridges and dams, and through them these real estate projects They have their own rental incomes. So rental income is received from RIT by the business trust. Exempt. Under section 1023 FCA. किसके हाथ में exempt है rental income भी? Trust, dividend and interest exempt, rental income exempt. Is this rental income taxable in the hands of the unit holders? Yes. Taxable in hands of unit holders. Are you all with me? जो ट्रस्ट की खुद की रियल एस्टेट की इनकम है, is that taxable in the hands of the unit holder? See, I made you write here. Dividend income taxable, interest income taxable, real estate income taxable. All the other income is exempt in the hands of the unit holders. यहाँ पे इसका भी section लिख लो. Under section 1023 FD. Unit holders के हाथ में बाकी पूरी income exempt है. अब business trust, dividend is exempt, interest is exempt, rental income is exempt, but this rental income is RIT income is taxable in the hands of the unit holders. Okay, right? So for that, TDS is to be deducted. Unit holders के हाथ में क्या rate से tax है? Dear students, this time in the hands of the unit holders, it will not be taxable at special rate of 10% dividend and 5% interest. No, it will be taxable at normal rates. बिल्कुल आपके जो normal rates है ना, उसमें taxable होगा. तो फिर TDS कितना deduct करेगा? RIT trust will deduct TDS. That business trust का ही एक part है. Real estate investment trust, they will deduct the TDS. Under section, I'm giving you all the sections and all part of syllabus. For problem solving, what smart work you should remember, definitely I'll give you that. I always seek as a student how to make it easier. 194 LBA में रियल एस्टेट इनकम आपका टीडीएस काटेंगे रेंटल इनकम पे. नॉन रेसिडेंट एंड फॉरेन कंपनी, non-resident and foreign company rates in force, you know the normal rates, that is 30% and 40%, and other income 10%. other income nahi, other sorry other SSEs. नॉन रेसिडेंस और फॉरेन कंपनी है तो 30-40% टीडीएस कटेगा रेंटल इनकम पे, और अदर्स के लिए कितना कटेगा? 10%. डन. अब बिजनेस ट्रस्ट, डिविडेंड इंटरेस्ट रिसीव फ्रॉम एसपीवी एग्जाम, रियल एस्टेट की खुद की जो इनकम है वो टैक्सेबल है. अब ना बिजनेस ट्रस्ट विल हैव इट्स ओन अदर इनकम. सो इन अदर इनकम्स first covered is long term capital gain under section 112. You know, properties and all are transferred, open plot, all that, 20% routine जो भी rate है. Short term capital gain under section 111A. 111A, you all remember? Listed shares where STT is charged, security transaction tax लगता है. Listed securities हैं तो 15%. All the other income of the trust is taxable at maximum marginal rate. Maximum marginal rate 30% tax, 37% surcharge, 4% TCES. Pick up your calculators and do faster than me. Do it faster than me. 30% tax. So pick up your calculators. On 100 income, 30% tax. How much is it coming? 30 into 137, highest rate of surcharge, 137 into 104%, 4% he says, that is coming to 42.744%. Done. Clear to all of you? Some students say, ma'am, ये एक topic छोड़ देंगे तो you are taking a risk of 7 marks problem, and when I do the problem, then you say you want to leave or not. It is like so easy. Dividend and interest which is received from SPV by trust, exempt. Rental income trust के लिए exempt है, but unit holders के लिए taxable है. Other than that income, all the other income exempt in the hands of the unit holders. If you want, write down. Exempt for unit holders. All this income is exempt for unit holders. But trust के हाथ में long term capital gain under 112, 20%. Short term capital gain 15%. Other than this, maximum marginal rate. Okay. So this is all about the business trust taxability. Now note down some points for exam which you should remember. Point number 1. Business trust to file return of income. Compulsory return of income file करना है under section 139 4 A या EE होगा 139 4E because it's business trust. जो ट्रस्ट है वो जो हॉस्पिटल्स है ना, हॉस्पिटल चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट, those are 139 4A. This is 139 4E में compulsory they have to file the return. Business trust income. This topic can never be studied without writing on your own. That's why as a teacher, I can literally take a printout of this, get it typed with my typist and put for all of you. But वो कभी भी नहीं होगा, वो हमेशा लिखाएंगे. Business trust की जो income है ना, passed on to unit holders. Taxable for unit holders. Same nature, same proportion. Same nature, same proportion. Are you getting? We have passed on to unit holders 80% dividend, 20%. हमारी income 80 dividend है, 20 interest है. So we have transferred to shareholders. You are holding 30%. He is holding 40%. तो आपके हाथ में भी 80-20 ratio will be same income, same proportion. Same nature of income, same proportion for the unit holders. Okay. Now, last point, shareholders. Write down this point. SPV will receive business trust units and trust will acquire shares of SPV. Are you all getting? SPV will receive business trust units and trust will receive acquire the shares of the SPV. this transfer is exempt. Otherwise, definitely it's a transfer, but it is exempt. Under section 47. You know, in transfer, there are so many transfers which are exempt, holding to subsidiary, subsidiary to holding. Take 47, clause 16 में ये भी exempt. Okay. So just read this point 2 minutes and then we will solve the problems for it. Or shall we just do the problem? Keep the flowchart on holding. I'll revise from the material and we'll do one problem and again come back to the flowchart. This is once it really takes time to fit in mind. As a teacher, even I read it 2-3 times when I did it for the first time. Because when we were student, when I cleared my taxation final, business trust was not there. So even as a student, when I have studied, I took 2-3 times to understand it. But problems are like, itne scoring hai. When we do the problem, you'll say, ma'am, these are like handpicked and done. That easy. Chalo. See, business trust can be in the form of infrastructure or real estate. Okay. Now, business trust, whatever interest it is receiving and passing from SPV or dividend from SPV, all that is exempt in the hands of the business trust. Okay. Now, real estate investment trust, it is having its own income. उसके लिए कोई एसपीवी की जरूरत नहीं है. एसपीवी इज फॉर डिविडेंड इंटरेस्ट ऑल, बट फॉर रियल एस्टेट इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रस्ट they are having their own income which they are generating. For that, trust is not paying any tax. It's exempt in the hands of the trust, but this income is taxable in the hands of the unit holders at normal rate. So if it is a foreign company, 40%, NRI normal 30%, for others whatever may be the rate. And other income of the trust, 111A 15%, 112 routine 20%. Baki, all the income of the trust is taxable at maximum marginal rate. Now come to unit holders. Unit holders, whatever income you are receiving, dividend, interest and all, that is taxable in the same proportion, in the same hands of unit holders. Okay. If in the previous year the distributed income received by unit holders from the business trust is of the nature as referred, then distributed income shall be deemed to be the income of the unit holders and it will be taxable in the hands of the unit holders. Okay. Other provisions. Any person responsible for making payment of income distributed on behalf of business trust to unit holders shall furnish a statement to unit holders within 30th of June of following the previous year. Unit holders should know that whatever income I have received, in that how much is dividend, how much is interest, and how much is rental from the trust. So they will give all that proportion and other details by 30th of June to the unit holders. Okay. And the prescribed authority within 30th of November. Tax department and all, unko bhi dena padega na, in such form and manner. Any transfer of capital asset being the share of SPV to the business trust. Are you getting? SPV का शेयर हम खरीद रहे हैं. हम कौन है? Business trust. ये कौन है? SPV. We are buying the share of the SPV in exchange of units allotted and we will give our units. This is not regarded as transfer. Just now I told you exchange of units and shares between the trust and the SPV is exempt. Income referred to this dividend and interest is not taxable in the hands of the trust. If you want, write down dividend interest. But tax is there in the hands of the unit holders. All the other income of trust is taxable in the hands of the trust only. And hence it's not taxable in the hands of the unit holders. Just say long term, short term, MMR, all. Okay. Business trust to mandatory file the return of income under 139(4)(e). और अब TDS कैसे कटेगा? Who will deduct the TDS? Business trust. Distributing income should deduct the TDS. Okay, right? Referred to in section 1023 FC. This is dividend income. If the payment is made to resident unit holder, 10%. If the payment is made to unit holders non-resident, 10%. Other income, 5%. Other means interest income. If it is made to unit holder, it is a foreign company, still डिविडेंड हर जगह पे एनआरआई के लिए कितना टैक्स, ये पूरे का जिस्ट है. डिविडेंड पे टीडीएस कटेगा 10%, इंटरेस्ट पे टीडीएस कटेगा 5%. अदर देन दिस मींस अदर इनकम, जो हमने देखा ना, रेंटल इनकम एंड ऑल, उस पे कितना टैक्स कटेगा? 10%. एंड इफ इट इज non-resident, then 30%. Foreign company hai to 40%. I've already given you all this in table. This provision is not applicable in respect of income of nature referred to in 1023 FB, that is dividend, if SPV has not exercised the option of 115 BAA. If SPV has paid the tax under 115A, तो फिर TDS taxable होगा और dividend काटना पड़ेगा. If not, it is not taxable. Followed or not? Okay, now let us check with this problem. Should I take a pause? You all have doubts, then ask, otherwise straight we will check up with one of the problems. एक problem करके देखते हैं कैसे आता है. Dawn is a REIT, real estate investment trust, and owns house properties in different parts of the Maharashtra. Beside, it has a controlling interest in A Limited. A Limited क्या होगा? SPV. हाँ, इट्स एन एसपीवी, इंडियन कंपनी, जिसके मेजर शेयर्स किसके पास हैं? रिट के पास है. ओके, एनुअल इनकम ऑफ द डॉन फॉर द प्रीवियस ईयर इज गिवन टू यू. ठीक है. नाउ रेंटल इनकम फ्रॉम प्रॉपर्टीज डायरेक्टली ओन्ड बाय डॉन. ओके. लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन ऑन सेल ऑफ लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग, ये तो डॉन के हाथ में ही टैक्सेबल होगा, रिट के हाथ में. Short-term capital gain on shares 15%. Long-term capital gain on land and building क्या रेट से taxable है? 20%. 112. This is 111A. I hope little sections you remember where STT is charged and short-term capital gain. Short-term capital gain other than that normal, तो वो तो normal rate से tax होगा 30%, क्योंकि कंपनी है, कंपनी के लिए normal tax क्या है? 30% है. So this will be taxable in the hands of the whom? Company. I mean, sorry, REIT. Take a pause and tell me, is the gist clear or not? REIT के हाथ में क्या क्या taxable होगा? We have just made the second part of the table. Long-term capital gain, short-term capital gain, other income at MMR and all. It will be taxable in the hand of REIT. And rental income, in whose hands it will be taxable? Unit holders. इंटरेस्ट इनकम फ्रॉम ए लिमिटेड, किसके हाथ में? एसपीवी से आया है इंटरेस्ट इनकम, बस किसके हाथ में टैक्सेबल होगा? यूनिट होल्डर्स. आर यू गेटिंग? हाउ मच? रीड द प्रॉब्लम केयरफुली. हाउ मच इज द इनकम? चेक इट वंस. चेक करो एक बार, प्रॉब्लम रीड करो. एंड द नेक्स्ट पार्ट दे आर सेइंग डॉन डिस्ट्रीब्यूट्स 50 crores to unit holders. छोटा डॉन is one of the unit holders and he holds 10% units in Dawn. So compute the income of Dawn. Who is Dawn? REIT. REIT की income क्या क्या होगी? 22.8. Are you all getting or not? फिर से एक बार, REIT is a kind of trust. ट्रस्ट के लिए डिविडेंड इंटरेस्ट इनकम तो एग्जेम्प्ट है. क्या क्या टैक्सेबल है? लॉन्ग टर्म, शॉर्ट टर्म फ्रॉम प्रॉपर्टी, शेयर्स एंड ऑल. And rental income and interest income, it should be taxable for Dawn, who is a unit holder, but not full 7 crores and all. Out of 50 crores, how much income is going to Dawn? He's the 10% holder. So 10% of whatever income is generated by the trust, ट्रस्ट ने जो भी इंटरेस्ट दिया है उसका 10%, जो डिविडेंड दिया है 10%, जो रेंटल इनकम दिया है 10% will be taxable in the hands of छोटा डॉन. Nice name, no? All given by the typist. Yes. Read the problem. Many of you have yet not received the material also. So later on or confused. Yes. If you want to take a screenshot, you can take off the problem I am sharing right now on the screen. I'll minimize it. Dekho. Now the problem should be clear. What is the income taxable in the hands of the trust and what is the income taxable in the hands of the unit holders? And unit holders, whatever is there for trust, all that will not be taxable. In the proportion of what he's holding the units, it will be taxable. Right. So, just in our booster notes, first let us write the gist of this. Say, यूनिट होल्डर्स के हाथ में क्या क्या टैक्सेबल रहेगा? डिविडेंड, इंटरेस्ट रिसीव्ड पास थ्रू, जो एसपीवी से पास ऑन होके आता है, एसपीवी पास ऑन, और रेट का डायरेक्ट जो रेंटल इनकम है, जो रियल एस्टेट का जो रेंटल इनकम एंड ऑल दैट, इट इज दीज आर द थ्री इनकम्स taxable in the hands of unit holders. All other income is exempt. 1023 FD में all other income is exempt in the hands of unit holders under section 1023 FD. What I am writing is clear or not? One line gist. Unit holders, डिविडेंड इंटरेस्ट जो एसपीवी से पास थ्रू होके आ रहा है और ट्रस्ट के थ्रू डायरेक्टली रियल एस्टेट ट्रस्ट इज हैविंग इट्स ओन रेंटल इनकम, all that is taxable in the hands of the unit holders. In what proportion? Percentage of the holding of the that other income exempt. Now come to this trust. ट्रस्ट के हाथ में क्या क्या टैक्सेबल है? All the other income are taxable. Long term, short term, all other income taxable. Long term capital gain 20%, short term capital gain 111A 15%, all other income MMR. Other than this, other income like dividend, interest, rental exempt. If you can write this, I am telling you, as a teacher, I know sometimes I only say this topic, just it's there in your syllabus, R for reading. This is not R for reading. I know we have spent 1 hour to understand it, but it's worth it when you lose your exemption for 3, 4, 5 marks. ऐसा प्रॉब्लम है जो सिर्फ आपको कुछ क्रिएटिविटी नहीं है, पिक अप द फिगर्स फ्रॉम द प्रॉब्लम और डिवाइड कर दो. ये यूनिट होल्डर, आप टैक्स पे करो, ये ट्रस्ट आप टैक्स पे करो, बात खत्म. You want to write this gist or clear? Then we will solve problem number 21 in our notebooks. Problem number 21 in our notebooks. What is the income of the trust? Trust की income क्या है? Is my writing clear? Those who want to write the gist or else I dictate. As you say, no problem. अच्छे से करो. Dawn is a real estate investment trust. और उसकी इनकम क्या है हम देखेंगे. कंप्यूटेशन ऑफ इनकम. ट्रस्ट की कंप्यूटेशन ऑफ इनकम करेंगे. पर्टिकुलर्स एंड अमाउंट. I'm telling you, it's just copying, particulars and amount in crore. It is in crores of rupees. Everything is in crore. Is rental income taxable for trust? Answer is no. It is exempt under section 1023 FCA. ट्रस्ट आपके हाथ में रेंटल इनकम टैक्सेबल. लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन ऑन सेल ऑफ लैंड, section 112. 112A is long term capital gain on listed shares. This is 112. ये टैक्सेबल होगा? बिल्कुल होगा. 20 करोड़. Short term capital gain on sale of listed shares. What is the section, dear students? Section 111A. कितना है? 2 करोड़. बिल्कुल टैक्सेबल है. Short term capital gain on सेल ऑफ लैंड 8 करोड़, बिल्कुल टैक्सेबल है। फिर क्या है? इंटरेस्ट, इंटरेस्ट इनकम किसको मिली है? ट्रस्ट को। इंटरेस्ट इनकम फ्रॉम ए लिमिटेड। हु इज ए लिमिटेड? एसपीवी। एसपीवी से ट्रस्ट इज गेटिंग द इंटरेस्ट इनकम. Is it taxable? Interest income? No, it is exempt because it is taxable in the hands of the unit holders under section 1023 FC. Dividend interest exempt. वो exempt है 1023 FCA. Okay, so what is the total income? Total income of RIT. RIT का total income कितना है? 30 crore. They have not asked you tax, but just for our information, can we write tax? This will be taxable at the rate of 20%. This will be taxable at the rate of 15%. And this will be taxable at the rate of MMR, maximum marginal rate of tax. That is 42.744%. No, these sections are there in the exempt income chapter. इंटर में कितना याद नहीं रहता था, बट ये सब एग्जाम्प्ट इनकम के सेक्शंस हैं. एंड ऑफ कोर्स दिस सेक्शन 112 and 11A is from capital gain. Can you remind me please, all of you, after the class? I'll send you one anyhow for business structuring also. I should give you, I'll send you one flow chart, one just flow chart I'll send you, wherein the age of capital asset with these sections will be clear, because you really need to remember it. Yeah, इन पीसीसी, आईपीसीसी, जो भी आप पढ़े हैं, कैपिटल गेन, ये सब इंपॉर्टेंट है. चलो, अब हम देखेंगे इनकम ऑफ यूनिट होल्डर. इनकम ऑफ यूनिट होल्डर, हिज नेम इज छोटा डॉन, and he is holding how much income, dear students? 10%. 10% units. So whatever is the income, uska 10% will be taxable. Let us see the first one. Let us see the first one. Unit holders. Are you going to pay the tax on rental income? Yes. Rental income. Rental income, in what proportion it will be taxable? Rental income is 7 crores out of 50 crores. And he is holding 10% unit. Are you getting? Why 7 by 50? Same proportion, no? Whatever is the income of the trust, that is going to be the same income for unit holders also. Out of 50 crores, 7 crore is the rental. This is the same proportion. 7 by 50 crore और 10% income जाएगी 5 crore. How much is it coming? 0.7 crore. Are you all getting or not? Cross multiply also you can do. Total income 50 crore. तो यूनिट होल्डर की इनकम है 10%, 5 crore. So total rental income, see total income 50 crore है, तो यूनिट होल्डर की इनकम 5 crore है, पर टोटल इनकम में रेंटल का इनकम 7 crore है, तो यूनिट होल्डर के लिए कितना? 7 crore into 5 crore divided by 50. There's no formula, dear students. Take out time once and remember it so that you'll be clear. हो गया यूनिट होल्डर? चलो, रेंटल इनकम तो हो गया. और क्या टैक्सेबल होगी? इंटरेस्ट इनकम. इंटरेस्ट इनकम, इंटरेस्ट इनकम कितनी है टोटल? 13 by 50 into 5 crore. That is 1.3 crore. Same. 50 crore income में 5 crore income is held by these unit holders, 10%. So 13 crore में भी 10%. Directly you can take 13 crore का 10% and so on. Whatever way you direct ले लो 10% या cross multiply, whatever logic you want to apply. Now, what is the other income shared with the unit holders also? Long-term capital gain on sale of land. Short-term capital gain on sale of listed shares. Short-term capital gain on sale of land. All this is exempt under section 1023FD in the hands of the unit holders. So what is the taxable income for unit holders? Unit holders के लिए taxable income कितना है? 2 crore. हो गया. You tell me, is there anything to lose marks in exam? Ma'am, I will leave the trust topic. जो छोड़ना है मैं ही छोड़ दूंगी आपके लिए. One second, 10 more minutes and we'll complete the class for today. But 1 second, I need to switch on the list. I want everyone to answer, is it worth doing? Last 1 hour, you all have written the flow chart, and when you solve the problem, is it easy or not? In MCQ, and generally not in MCQ, this is asked as it is only 5 to 7 marks problem. They'll give you like a kirana list, ye puri income hai, which income is taxable for the unit holders, which income is taxable for the trust, you decide. Frankly speaking, one aspect missing in the problem is dividend. If SPV has paid the dividend and SPV has paid full tax, that dividend is exempt in the hands of the unit holders as well as in the hands of the trust. But if SPV has paid subsidized tax at the rate of 22%, then dividend given by SPV to trust, exempt. Trust to the shareholders, taxable. अच्छा है, क्लियर है सबको? Easy? Chalo. Let us take up the next part now. I have literally heard this dialogue from so many. हाँ मैम business trust ना हम छोड़ देते हैं. अब कोई भी problem, कल और भी हम problem करेंगे. And you know the reason I'm not taking all the trust, like 2 more trust are there. This is the business trust. You have securitization trust and one more which is very easy. For the sake of completing more 20 minutes and I'll be done. But this is very good concept and I just don't want you to understand. Understand तो 15 मिनट पहले हो गया. अभी जो last बार बार मैं repeat कर रही हूँ ना, पहले लिखा फिर. This is to make you learn so that you score smart marks in MCQs. And now some simpler sections I am doing. Skip this part, we will be doing tomorrow, this later part. Yeah, I am on page number 69 now. This is many times asked in the form of either short note or MCQs. Tax on income from patent, section 115 BBF. If you remember, I have referred this in the math. In math, when we do add and less, if there is any patent income credited, nikal do. Remove that. You know why remove? Because under section 115 BBF, what it is, MAT का जो income है, that is taxable at flat 50%. But in-house patent, which we have developed in India, that we don't have to pay tax more than 10%. So remove that income. If related to that patent, any expenses you have debited, add back. This is trust part. Now come to this section, very simple. It says under section 115 BBF that if there are some patents, some products, some formula, some idea, some design which is developed in India, and 75% of expenditure you have done it in India, you have registered that patent in India. Now, through that patent you are getting royalty income, that income, when you allow others to use your brand, your product, your logo, then that patent income is taxable at the rate of flat 10%. Even MAT will not apply to this. That is why in case of MAT, in P&L account credit side, if we have credited any income from patent, nikal do. Because MAT says pays 50% and 115 BBF says pay how much? 10%. That's the simpler part of this. Let us read and then close it. Simple. Where total income of SSE includes income by way of royalty in respect of patent developed and registered and taxed at the rate of 10%, payable on the royalty income. Eligible SSE means person who is resident in India, who is a patentee. Patentee means true and first inventor. It's not कि बाहर से ले जाके पेप्सी लेके आ गए, कॉन्सेंट्रेट उसको डाइल्यूट करके अपना बना ब्रांड बना के सेल किया. No, it should be the resident SSE and first inventor whose name is entered on the patent register in accordance with the Patent Act. 75% of expenditure is incurred in India to develop that patent in-house. Royalty in respect of patent means consideration, including any lump sum consideration, but excluding any consideration, which would be the income of the recipient chargeable under the head capital gain or consideration for sale of product and all. ठीक है, तो जो भी royalty मिलेगी आपको for transfer of all the rights, imparting any information, use of patent, rendering of service, all that will be taxable. Okay. Routine income, it's excluding the capital gain. Lump sum includes advance payment on account of the royalty which is not returnable, तो वो सब taxable हो जाएगा. At what rate? 10%. Please understand this. Patent income 115 BBF taxable at 10% minus on book profit for MAT. This just for you to correlate and remember. Do this 3D makeup of your textbook. लिख दो. चलो. No deductions and allowances allowed. Eligible SSE is required to exercise the option for taxation of the royalty in accordance with the provision prescribed and all. And where eligible SSE opts for taxable of his royalty income in accordance with the provision of this section, and he offers royalty income for any of the 5 assessment years to the previous year, succeeding previous year, not in accordance with this, then SSE shall not be eligible to claim the benefit of this section for 5 years. Means once you opt in, continue and apply for 5 years. If you opt out, then the next 5 years, they will not be allowed to opt in, like your 44 AD and all. Chalo, next one is still simpler than this. It is talking about tax on income from transfer of carbon credits. अब ये सब हम क्या पढ़ रहे हैं इनकम टैक्स में कार्बन क्रेडिट. You cannot do emission of more than this carbon dioxide and all from the manufacturing units. So there has to be energy saving devices, anti-pollution equipment, air pollution equipment and all. So suppose I have got a right to do carbon emission 3 units, but my carbon emission is only 1 unit. I am saving on 2 units. Can I pass it on to you? आपको समझ में आ रहा है मेरा एग्जाम्पल? Government has allowed me कि okay, per month 3 units carbon emission is allowed, Dipti Chheda, from your factory, but I am doing only 1 unit emission. 2 units मैं कम कर रही हूँ standard से. In your case, you are doing 6 units emission, whereas you are allowed to do only 5 emission. So in that case, I can sell my carbon credit units to you. There's a business being done. This is all for environment protection. So on that, I will pay how much tax? 10%. Where total income of SSC includes income by way of transfer of carbon credits. अब टेक्निकली वो कैसे कैलकुलेट होता है वो सब छोड़ दो. कार्बन क्रेडिट्स टैक्सेबल कितने से होगा? 10%. Carbon credit in respect of 1 unit shall mean reduction of 1 ton of carbon dioxide equivalent to gases, which is validated by the UNO's framework. No deduction in respect of any expenditure and all will be allowed. This will be taxable flat. This will be taxable at 115 BBG. Okay, right. Next is tax on deemed income under section 68 to 69D. You all know this I have taught you in the basic chapter only. If there is unexplained cash credit या unexplained expenditure या investment which you are not able to explain the source from where you have acquired the income, all that income is taxable at flat 78%. Please remember surcharge rate इसका अलग है. 60% tax, on tax 25% surcharge. So 100 के ऊपर 60% tax. Tax के ऊपर 25% surcharge. That is 75. On 75, if you do 104%, it is coming to 78% flat. No basic exemption. Okay, ma'am, I have earned this income. This is my black money. These are my investment only. ये open plot, ये property, ये FD, ये सब मेरे ही बेनामी investment है. But I have earned it in 3 years. Can you allow me 3 basic exemption? Answer is no. Can you allow me some deductions? No. Any other losses? Okay, ma'am, I have earned black money, but I have genuine business loss. Can I set off? No. Can you allow any expenses? Okay, ma'am, I have earned black money, but for that I have bribed this officer 1 crore rupees. Please allow me that deduction. No, nothing doing. Nothing will be allowed here. Okay. So I hope this part is clear to all of you. No basic exemption, no deduction, no expense allowed, no set off, nothing. Okay. So purposely I am not taking up the securitization trust and all. I don't want to mix up all khichdi. We'll do it tomorrow. That's why I did some other sections. One more is because this is all 115 series, I have missed out covering. I must have definitely printed at the end. I really want to talk about that. For inter final, all the students, it's very important. I must have printed it in the amendments. You know, at the back, all the amendments are given at a stretch. Updated return we have completed. VDA, I want to talk about VDA because that's also a part of section 115 series which we are doing. So I want you to refer on page number 67. जहाँ आप है वहाँ लिख दो. Yeah, here it is. TDS भी deduct हो रहे हैं. One second, 194S. So we will do. I'm just seeing section 100 and yes. I'm on page number 355. I want all of you to open this, please, because we are in this chapter, so it is very, very important. VDA. This has also got the same reference, 115 series, what we are doing. So I want to cover it up now only. Page number 355 I am. How they are going to tax it from 2023, but it's a part of your syllabus. In the Finance Act 2022, अभी तो budget 23 भी आ गया और Finance Act 2023 शुरू हो गया. But for your syllabus, your Finance Act 22-23 also, this is relevant. Shall I start? Okay. Virtual digital asset. You all know about it. It's like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Litecoin, और इथेरम ऐसे करके कुछ क्रिप्टो करेंसीज है which are like a different currencies which are traded. Now these kind of cryptocurrencies, when you sell it in open market, there will be tax of 30% flat. Okay, under section 115 we are doing all 115 series only, patent, copyrights, carbon credit, so we should know this also. 116 BBH में it will be taxable. Okay, it's a part of the capital asset. Capital asset, you remember, property, precious stones and jewelry and antiques and sculptures and all. वहीं पे taxable is your cryptocurrency. Okay, so cryptocurrency पे बिल्कुल capital gain लगेगा. However, such transactions, if such assets are held for trading purpose, then the VDA income will be taxed as business income. Now you know how it is. Virtual digital asset, if it is held as buying and selling, you know, you are dealing with it as stock in trade, then income will be taxable under business income. But if you hold cryptocurrency as investments, as an asset, then it will be taxable under capital gain chapter. But whether it is taxable under business income or capital gain, tax will be at the rate of 30%. Section 115 provides that no deduction is allowed, no expenditure. Like I told you, unexplained investment ki tarah, no deductions, no expenditure, nothing is allowed. Cost of acquisition, if any, will be deducted from the full value of consideration, and income, even if taxable under capital gain, indexation nahi milega. You know, like goodwill, and there are some incomes on which indexation is not there. Like that, even if cryptocurrency is long term, here the holding period is 36 months. उससे कम है तो short term, नहीं तो long term, जैसे भी है. But then in that case also, it will be taxable at flat 30%. No deductions, no expenditure, nothing. Can you deduct cost? Yes. I have sold cryptocurrency in 15 rupees. I purchased in 10 rupees. What will be profit? 5. 5 पे 30% tax लगेगी. If I have sold it in 15, but I have acquired it in 18, is there a loss? Yes. This 3 rupees loss due to cryptocurrency, can I set off with my other profits? Answer is no, not allowed. Are you getting? No deduction will be allowed pertaining to cost of improvement, expenditure and all. Definition of transfer for the purpose of computation under 115 BBH. Income from transfer of virtual digital asset. Okay, so definitely you have to pay flat 30% tax. Any one of this bit can be asked to you in your MCQs. Loss arising on the VDA cannot be adjusted against any other income. अभी मैंने आपको बताया ना, 15 में सेल किया, 18 में अक्वायर किया, तो 3 रुपीज लॉस है. किधर? nowhere you will set it off. Any loss incurred by SSE cannot be adjusted against income from the transfer of VDA. अच्छा मैम, VDA में इनकम आया है and I have sold an open plot और उसमें लॉस आया है. Can I set off other loss in VDA? No. Can I set off VDA loss in others? No, not allowed. TDS is deducted 194S at the rate of 1%. Even gift of digital asset will be, you know, income from other sources. If you gift a capital asset above 50,000 to unrelated person, it is taxable in income from other sources. So VDA also, if it is gifted to unrelated person, it is going to be taxable in income from other sources. TDS deduct hoga 194S में. I must have given that provision. 194S में TDS deduct होगा. Second part I have printed. Yeah. Any person responsible for paying to any resident any sum by way of consideration. ये तो seller है, ये तो buyer है. TDS कौन deduct करेगा? Buyer. Under section 194S at the rate of 1% of the sale consideration. At the time of credit of such account of resident or at the time of payment, whichever is earlier. Where any sum is credited, okay, and it is not paid, then also TDS will be deducted at the rate of 1%. No TDS will be deducted where in case of specified person, that is individual and HUF, if the aggregate value of the consideration does not exceed 50,000. VDA which is transferred, even 1 rupee VDA transferred, income is taxable at 30%. But TDS is deducted only when VDA transferred sale consideration exceeds 50,000. Any person other than specified person, then value or aggregate value of the consideration does not exceed 10,000. What is specified person? Individual HUF, okay, whose turnover from the business carried on exercise does not exceed 1 crore. जो non TDS वाले हैं उनके लिए कितना लिमिट है? 50,000. Okay. Individual and HUF not having any other income other than and not having any other income under that profits and gains, they are also specified person. तो उनके केस में भी 50,000 ही होगा. ठीक है. और या तो फिर those individual HF whose books of accounts are not audited and if they have purchased VDA above 50,000, TDS लगेगा. For others, if they purchase above 10,000, they have to deduct 194S 1%. Provisions of 203A TAN requirement and higher rate of TDS in case of non-filers not applicable to specified person. कि अगर नहीं है तो 1% की जगह 20% TDS काट लेंगे, वो नहीं लगेगा. In case of transactions to which 194O, okay, e-commerce operator and all is applicable, then tax shall be deducted under 194S. So even if 194 is ई-कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर के थ्रू ऑनलाइन आप जो खरीदते बेचते हैं तो 194O is applicable. But if there is a conflict कि क्रिप्टो करेंसी में मैम 194O आएगा कि S आएगा, तो it will be S. Where consideration for transfer of virtual digital asset is wholly in cash or where there is no part in cash or partly in cash and partly in kind, but cash is not sufficient, then person responsible for paying the consideration shall before releasing ensure that tax required to be deducted has been paid in respect of such consideration for transfer of the VD. तो जो भी आपको करेंसी मिलेगी they will deduct the TDS. अगर पूरा काइंड में है तो you have to arrange and pay them cash. Are you getting? I have purchased from you VDA. I have to give you cash. But instead of that, if I'm giving you something more, but I have to deduct the TDS and pay to government, then whatever I am giving you in kind and all that, it will be adjusted. पहले उसको आप adjust कर दो. ठीक है? I think that's enough for VDA. This much, if you know, it is enough. What is the gist of VDA? Virtual digital assets are cryptocurrency. Whenever they are transferred, 30% tax you have to pay. If you deal day-to-day stock in trade, business income. Otherwise, investment capital asset. But business income or capital asset, it is taxable at 30%. No basic expenses, no exemption, no set-off, no losses. Yeah, only the cost of the cryptocurrency is allowed to be deducted without indexation. So sale consideration minus the cost it will be your capital gain for cryptocurrency, and it will be directly taxable at flat 30%. Okay, when I am buying VDA from you, if you are a specified person, above 50,000 if I purchase, under 194S, 1% TDS I will deduct. In case of all the other SSCs, if I purchase from you VDA above 10,000 under 194S, 1% TDS is to be deducted. Okay, so that's all for today's class. Revise everything for the business trust and ask me any doubts you have. Whenever they ask the problem in exam, just do the proportion, copy the problem as it is, and score 5 to 7 marks, provided that 2-line gist which I gave just above the problem should be clear to all of you. Okay, we'll continue. Tomorrow is the last class for the company's assessment. So any doubt you have right from the beginning in the MAT, tax credit, kahin pe koi types of companies, any doubt you have, you can ask me. Yes. Yes, dear, revision classes जो आपके ऐप में है ना, उसमें exempt income का भी revision class है. You can check. All these incomes are exempt under 1023 FCA and all. Check that, please. Okay, anyone is having more doubt? Make sure you use your time best today. There is no homework. Revise assessment procedure for you all. Saturday was some other schedule. I have recorded gist lecture of assessment procedure so that you watch the gist lecture again and again, solve all the questions of assessment procedure which I have given you, and write the exam. It's really a quality good paper with MCQ with lot of internal choices. And put a message in the group, ma'am, done. I have completed writing chapter wise exam. You have to do all the 4 subjects, allocate your time, and make sure you write the exam. I know it takes a little more. Push to yourself. Something will be saying, हाँ क्या फर्क पड़ता है एग्जाम नहीं लिखे तो, फिर भी लिखो. लिखो. 10 out of 30 है, फिर भी लिखो. That doesn't mean final exam you'll get 10. You are matured enough not to get demotivated by writing the exam. Exams में MCQs में ही score कर लोगे आप. Out of 50, at least 20 marks MCQs are only there. हाँ, तो जरूर लिखो exam. That's all from my side. Thank you so much, all of you. Bye bye. See you all tomorrow.